Clemens Board of Education to order, please. Call the roll.
Mrs. Cahoon.
Yes.
Ms. Hammond.
Here.
Dr. McFadden. Mr. Shepherd. Mr. Walker.
Here.
Mrs. Walker. Mr. Rickman.
Here. A quorum has been established. Next on the agenda, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda are citizens' comments. This is a portion of the meeting where you, the citizens of the Mount Clemens Community School District, can address the board with any questions, comments, or concerns. We ask that you stand, you come to the center of the room, state your name and address. Be mindful you have 3 minutes by which to make your inquiry. Also be mindful you may not receive a particular response to your particular inquiry this evening. If you would request a written response to your inquiry, we ask that you write that question out and provide there's a form Ms. L has, write it out, provide it to Ms. L. You receive a written response within 72 hours. Last but not least, I ask that you address all questions, comments, concerns to the chair. The agenda is now open for citizens' comments. Second call, citizens' comments. Last call, citizens' comments. Seeing or hearing none, moving the agenda forward. Next on the agenda will be item 5, district presentations. Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, sir. Just a second. Actually, good evening. You good, Robbie, with Mike? Good evening, board, families, community members, and staff that are here. Before I get started, let's do this while we're in here. So I guess it's almost the whole room. I was gonna ask for all staff members to stand up if you're a staff member. Let's see, if you all have all our staff members stand up. Let's go room. One more. All right. Thank you all for being here. Tonight we want to begin by grounding ourselves in our why. As you know, we do our updates at least twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year. So we have a lot to present to you tonight, so it's going to be a long one, but it should be an interesting one. Tonight we want to begin by grounding ourselves in our why, right? Why our updates matter. School districts do not exist to preserve systems, they exist to serve students. And as the needs of students, families, and community continue to evolve, it is our responsibility to pause, reflect, and ensure that our direction and our decisions and our resources are aligned with the matters align with what matters most for student success. The update is not about change, the sake of change. It is about clarity, it is about transparency, and it is about making sure Mount Clemens Community Schools remains financially stable, operationally sound, and academically strong, not just for today, but for years to come. So with that being said, I'm going to go through, and the central office team will do some district overview updates, and then we'll get into each building level update, and some celebrations, some acknowledgments, some data, and information at the end. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. All right. Always beginning with our why, our purpose. Most of you, well, not most, I can't say that anymore. We have a lot of new faces, but a lot of you are aware that when I first got here in 2023, one of the things that we did not have in place was a functional strategic plan. a lot of people in this room, as far as other community, as well as other community members, have really came together to participate. We had over 100 participants in our strategic planning process, met in this room in a series of meetings throughout the year. It took us a whole year to get this plan developed. And it was important because we didn't have a vision. We didn't have a functioning vision. We didn't have a why. There was no clarity. So for a lot of new faces in this room, when you sit in interviews and you sit at the interview table with me or in your first round of the interview, this is something that we've always talked about. This is something that we've always asked you, how does this fit with your personal philosophies? Is this something that we wanted to be clear what people are signing up for, who we were as a district. As I say all the time, Mount Clemens Community Schools is one of the best places to work, and there are a lot of things that we believe philosophically that are important for helping our students in this community grow and be successful and not just survive but thrive. And so it is imperative that we have a clear vision and mission, and that the people that work here believe in that clear vision and mission. Really quick, support for teaching and learning. So we'll get into, our presentation is broken down in some of the different areas of importance, not really of importance, but of significance, from curriculum, instruction, academic, operations, and finance. And then we'll get to our building levels. Why? First, so this is the core mission of the district: student achievement and instructional quality. At the end of the day, all the great things that you see and hear and feel that we do, they all feel good, right? And I say this to the team and the staff all the time. Things feel good, we're doing great things, but if they don't equal student achievement and performance, it doesn't mean anything, unfortunately. However, we know the importance of developing the whole child. And so when we talk about student achievement, we're not talking about proficiency on a state standardized test necessarily. That is important. That's a big part of what we're trying to do. But we want our students to grow. We know that who our community is and who the students we serve are. And wherever they come to us, we try to capture them and bring them up to where we need them to be. Sometimes that's at grade level, below grade level, above grade level, et cetera. And it is imperative for us for them to grow, right? And so we spend a lot of time working to close gaps, and there are a lot of pieces that go into that. There are a lot of people that contribute to that. I'll have Dr. Lewis come up for a second. Dr. Lewis, as you know, when we restructured last year and moved some things around position-wise in central office, our former curriculum director of curriculum and instruction and our special populations coordinator or special needs coordinator, those roles were overwhelmed. Our past human resource, assistant superintendent of human resources, was also our curriculum and director and director of instruction. Those two things are jobs in themselves. And so as we restructured last year, we brought on Dr. Lewis as Mr. Lavender retired. We broke up those roles, and we needed to focus on curriculum and instruction. So we added Dr. Lewis, and now that's her main goal. She's going to share with you some of the things you hear about when people research our school district or any school district. They go to my school data, and you get these report cards. And Dr. Lewis is going to go through what those things indicate, give you some insight, what they mean, and kind of give you an update of how we scored on the state report card, if you will, or assessment. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Dr. Lewis. We'll kind of jump in and out where we're needed to bring any clarity. If you have any questions, you can also ask in the middle of it. We don't mind. So, Dr. Lewis.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. So we're going to go over the school index for all three of our buildings. We're starting with the elementary, and we will do some comparisons to last year. The school index is always 1 year behind, and so you'll see that we're comparing it to 23-24 because this information really is from 24-25, so last school year. What you'll note in the elementary school index is that in every one of our areas, we increased the points. And so that is huge. Last year, our overall index score was 23.21. The target was 23.88, so we were labeled last year as a TSI school. This year, we are labeled as CSI, which is Comprehensive Support and Improvement. That does push our elementary into the partnership agreement this year. But what's important to note about that is the biggest reason that we are in that partnership with the elementary is because the target moved. So last year, the target was 23.88. This year, the target is 35.33. And our elementary school shifted from 23.21 to 32.94. So they improved drastically, but the mark moved. And so they will go on a 3-year plan, just like the high school. But the plan will, similar to the high school, have goals that we have to hit at our 18-month and our 36-month review. A lot of it for elementaries are centered around attendance and proficiency in math and ELA on our state assessments. But we wanted to make sure that we highlighted that this is improvement from last year to this year. And again, that's 23-24 to 24-25. And all of the initiatives and supports that we are putting in place, which I'll get to momentarily, are helping to drive our improvement. Our middle school, we had a few things that stayed virtually the same, and then we had some things that were increases. And so our overall index score increased by 2.02. Our growth index, which is on our NWEA scores, and that is what Superintendent Roper was talking about, that while proficiency is the goal, we know where our students are, and it is very difficult to get a 9th grader who is reading at 1st grade level to grow 8 grade levels in 1 year. And so what we're looking for growth until we can get to our proficiency. Growth is our major thing. You may be able to get a student to grow 4 or 5 grade levels, but if they are 8 grade levels behind, we haven't reached proficiency yet. But that does not mean that our students are not learning and growing in the way that they should. And so our growth index went up 7.42. And then our label for our middle school did not change at all. It is an additional target support, or ATS, which means that we also have some subcategories that need to be addressed, and I'll get into how we're addressing that as well. And then finally, our high school index. So we had some increases in our high school index as well. I want to make sure that I go over the graduation rate a little bit, because I know that is heavily talked about when we are in the community and when we come to board meetings, and the understanding of what that means. And so last year, or 23-24, our graduation rate for the school index was 64 index points. And this year we are at 74.19. That does not mean that we did not graduate 100% of our class of 2025. We did. 100% of our students graduated for 2025. But where the actual overall graduation rate index comes from, it is a weighted average of the 4-year, 5-year, and 6-year graduation. So a student that comes in, and I believe Superintendent Roper spoke about it at our last board meeting, we get a senior that comes in 2nd semester and they have 3 credits. They are now in our 5 or 6-year graduation cohort, and there's nothing we can do about that. We can give them all of the supports, but there just may not be enough time to get them caught up on credits, so they no longer count for that 4-year graduation rate. And so we're penalized when we move to that 5-year and 6-year graduation rate, and then they combine it. They're not necessarily equally combined either. And so anything that you see in A, but we do have, so we have English language learners, but if the number of students that qualify to test are 30 or less, you will not, or less than 30, you will not see anything in the index, and whatever that point is for the index gets dispersed throughout the rest of the index. So all of the categories that you see are what make up the overall index score. And so they use a percentage for how that looks to create the overall percentage score. Our High school did not come off of the CSI list, and so we knew that. We've been talking to the board about it at various board meetings, and it is not because we are not improving. We still have a lot of improvement to go. As Superintendent Roper said, a lot of our drastic changes have come in the last 3 years since he's been here. Some have started or initiated when he got here, but it wasn't until last year that they were rolled out, or they were rolled out last year and they didn't actually get implemented until the beginning of this school year. So what have we actually been up to that says we really are improving? So we've made a lot of curriculum purchases because the district did not have a unified curriculum. And so people were working in pockets and individual curriculum resources that they had. And so we decided that that's just not acceptable for a district. We are, as you can say, one band, one sound. The district needs a common curriculum for across the board. And we need all teachers to be doing the same thing technically at the same time, giving still some of that autonomy to work within the level of our students, but we know what they're teaching. We know that it is guaranteed and viable curriculum, and that this is dedicated to support the academic growth of our students. So we purchased a new curriculum for math 6 through 12. That's our Envision Learning. We did that in the spring of last year, so it actually rolled out in September of this year. We purchased Amplify CKLA, which is our K-5 English curriculum that will roll out second semester, so it doesn't roll out until this coming February. We renewed and relaunched Newzella, and with Newzella, it brings in some ELA, science, and social studies curriculum resources, so it is not a curriculum by itself. It helps to support all 3 of those curriculums that exist. We also purchased Planbook recently, which is a lesson planning software, and that is also to unify the district and how we are communicating what it is that we teach, how our principals can see what exactly is happening in those classrooms. It is housed in one space, so we don't have to go and find the information, to make sure that we are all speaking the same language across the board, and that when we sit down in those PLCs, we can have that conversation of what a strong lesson plan looks like, because we know that that is important to actually teaching our students. If we don't have a plan, then we're planning to fail. And so we want to make sure that our students have the best planning possible and that it's unified. Again, teachers are turning in lesson plans, but they all look so different and have so many different things in it. And everything that we've been doing is to make sure that our district is speaking the same language. As far as our curriculum updates and revisions, so this is the actual curriculum and what we're doing. So at the beginning of the year, we talked about how we're focusing on our Tier 1, MTSS Tier 1, and that is for all of our students. And so at the secondary level, they are doing math for all. So every classroom is teaching a little bit of math, giving a little bit of math in every class to help support the proficiency and the growth in our math scores. We also have, during advisory, we have targeted time for them to get their interventions based on their NWEA scores, and that is using the program iExcel, because the NWEA scores go directly into the program, and it gives out what information the students have learned and what they have deficiencies in, so they can actually work on their targeted deficiencies in that class. And it's a dedicated time supported just for that. It is hard as a teacher to do all of the things, to teach the curriculum that you're supposed to be teaching, and to make sure that you are addressing the prior needs of students if it is outside of that specific standard. And so we want to make sure that we gave time to have some intervention time that was dedicated to just that. We've also increased dual enrollment opportunities, and so our dual enrollment used to be only for our 11th and 12th graders. And now we've increased it to be our 9th and 10th graders as well, because we want to make sure that our students have the best opportunity possible to do whatever it is they want to do in life and make sure that they are succeeding. And then we are also expanding our CTE courses. We're looking into a pharmacy tech program. We are looking into some automotive programs. We're looking into some drone pilot programs. So things that make our kids ready for, that make them college and career ready, so that whatever path they choose, they actually have viable access to it. For our MTSS Tier 2, that is the bottom 15% of your students. Those are the students that need a little bit more support. And so at Seminole, we are going to be rolling out a win time. We have worked with the principal to see where we have time in our day to actually do some of that targeted intervention. Right now, teachers are working with their students in small groups, but we want to make sure that we have a dedicated amount of time to it, just like we're doing at the high school. They also have a math interventionist. We've unfortunately not been able to hire anyone yet at the high school for that position, and then they have a reading interventionist at the elementary school as well. We're doing the IXL during advisory 3 days a week. The other 2 days a week, they will get enrichment, because we know that that is super important to expose our students to the career paths that exist in this world and the next, because we're preparing our kids for careers that don't even exist yet. So we want to make sure that we're giving them access. And then also at the elementary, we are continuing their high dosage after school tutoring to make sure that they are getting the support they need. And then those also count as Tier 3, because when you move to Tier 3, it is the bottom 5%. And at that point, they're getting one-on-one help to make sure that they are supported in the additional things that they need. We've also been doing a lot of professional learning, because we know that as we are teaching and supporting our students, we want to make sure that our educators are equally taught and supported as well. And so we know that in evaluations, professional learning is one of the evaluation pieces, because as educators, we are supposed to be lifelong learners, and we are supposed to make sure that we are perfecting our craft. And so we've done conscious discipline coaching on top of just the actual training that the full staff got. 8 of our teachers are getting individual staff coaching by our conscious discipline trainers to make sure that we are growing our own. So once they are done with those teachers, they'll move to their next cohort of teachers. And all of these were teachers that volunteered to do the training. It is to make sure that we have the tools that we need to deal with the students that we have right now. The students that have trauma, the students that have that come with all of the things that we didn't necessarily have when we were growing up. And we know that this is a different generation. So we want to make sure that our teachers are supported in how to deal with what we consider the new age student. We've also been sending our math teachers to guaranteed and viable curriculum training. Math is one of our greatest needs of growth. And so our math teachers have been going once a month to guaranteed and viable curriculum training with the MISD. They've also come here to coach them. They are going into classrooms to make sure that we are all, again, speaking the same language, that our focus is the same, that we are supporting our Tier 1 education to make sure that our students grow. Everything that we're doing is based on making sure that our students are growing academically and socially. We want to make sure that we're educating and supporting the whole child. And so you'll see a lot of academic things, and then you'll also see that we have some behavior things in there as well, to make sure that that we understand that it is hard to teach kids sometimes when they have behaviors that are less than desirable in our classrooms. But we also know that a lot of times our babies just don't know how to communicate any other way. And so we want to make sure that our babies are trained and that our staff is trained, so that we all know how to coexist We have MISD literacy learning module cohorts that are for K through 5. We are doing restorative practices training so that all of our staff, not just our teachers, but every staff member in the building knows how to actually have conversations with our students when they are having those less than desirable behaviors, to understand what the root cause of them could be and how you are supposed to deal with them so that we're not just kicking kids out. We do not want to be an institution that is just putting kids out, because that's our business, students. And if we are just sending them home, then we're doing a disservice to them and our communities. We have the Macomb Elementary Principals Connection, the Secondary Principals Connection, and then our principals are also going to Leadership Learning Series. So this year we dedicated a lot of time to making sure that we have, while we are increasing all of the curriculum and enrichment for our students, that we're doing the very same thing for our adults as well. And then our final thing that we are listing is our ongoing leadership development with our central office cabinet that is led by Superintendent Roper, and it is a book study on the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And I will be the first person to toot Superintendent Roper's horn when I say this is the first district, and I've been an educator over 20 years, that we actually did the book study, that we did not just get a book and then we never revisit it again. Every cabinet meeting, we are actually going through it. Is the very first thing that we do is go over our book study and actually talk about how it can be used to support us and as leaders, and how that support translates over to the staff, the students, and the community.
It doesn't take a long time. We get done in like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, we do. It's a 5-minute review. And then when we move to our culture and climate, this is our behavior things. And so we have lots of things going on for our behavior. Those are tiered as well. They are a part of the MTSS tier system. So we've done conscious discipline training for all. We will have restorative practice training in February. And then our classroom teachers are also doing PLCs they have some that are centered around classroom management strategies and just what to do for our students and how to best handle their behaviors. We have restorative groups with our social workers. We have girls and boys mentoring groups at the high school. And then tier 3, again, these work the same way as they do academically. These are for our students that need one-on-one support. And so we, outside of our individual social work services, we do also have a program that we sign students up for when the need exists for My Best Therapy program, to make sure that they can get the one-on-one support that they need. And then all of the other feel-good stuff. What are we doing for the community? So we had our inaugural golf outing in September. We did a community partnership luncheon in September. We had over 40 community partners attend. From that, we were able to get donations from those community partners, but more importantly, we got their time. They are coming into the building and figuring out how they can partner with us to help teach our students, to help provide opportunities for them, internships, to come in and just talk to them, mentoring, to make sure that our students know that they are not just loved inside of our building, but that our community loves them just as much as we do inside of our building. We did the annual turkey giveaway in November. We gave away 750 turkeys. That is 250 more than we did last year, and the weather was not nearly as cold this year. So it was definitely on our side, but it was an amazing thing to be able to give to families in need. We did our Christmas giving tree is something that Mrs. Monk used to do when she was here before, and it dwindled away when she left. And because she is back, she's brought our Christmas giving tree back. And so we know that we have a lot of families in need, and the ornaments on our tree are the students and what it is they would like. And any staff member can come in and just pull names off of the tree, you pull your ornament, and you just deliver the gifts with kids' names, no questions asked. And it's just to make sure that our families are supported, that while we are supporting them educationally, we want them to know that we care about them in other ways too, not just their academics. We care about them as human beings. And so we also want them to have a good Christmas and to be able to get the things that they want sometimes. Like, all of us have the things that we need, but we don't always get the things that we want. And so we want to make sure that they get some things that they want too, because when our students feel loved and supported, they come to school. And they just show up. They show up when there's no school. A snow day, they're here because they're looking for that love and support that we're giving them. And so we want to make sure that they always feel that way when they come home to us. We had a staff wellness event today. It was amazing. I hope all of our teachers got to go and participate. They got massages today on their preps and a healthy snack to go with it, just to make sure that they know that while we love our students and we are all about making sure our kids are taken care of, our adults have to be taken care of too. And so we wanted to show them some gratitude and let them know that we love and care about them as well, and we want to support their mental health as well. And while a 10-minute massage may not seem like a lot, it goes a long way when it's December, you're looking forward to 2 more days before break. You might just barely be holding on by a thread because that one kid had way more less desirable behaviors than you like them to have. And you come in and you get just a quick massage that says, just release, just breathe. And as adults, we don't get to do that often. And then we also had our annual back to school bash in August. And so we're doing a lot of events to make sure that the community sees us. They know that we are here, that we are changing the narrative of what the community thought we were. And now they get to see who we actually are.
Dr. Lewis, you skipped over, go back. One thing that I'm proud of, another thing that I'm proud of is a lot of you helped us participate in the Santa Day Parade in the city.
I did skip.
It was probably one of the most powerful events that I have taken part in since I've been in this district. And to find out it's been at least over 5, maybe more years since the district has participated, just blew me away, right? Like, it's a huge parade that takes part in our city. We're the local school district, and we haven't been in it. And to see all of these other districts come here and the kids are put on the stage, and to see our kids get that experience. And I don't know how many adults have ever walked in a parade, and just to be a star for a day. And we had well over 50 students, families, you name it. Our PAC leader, Ms. Granados, and the PAC organization, our parent advisory committee, they participated and came out and represented. But those things that we're just trying to unite and connect our district back to this community. I think if you don't see us, you can forget about us. So we're going to be everywhere and put our kids everywhere to highlight them and celebrate them. And we're going to make people acknowledge and see our kids. And so I was very proud of the participation, and thank you to everybody that came out and participated in that. All right, up next. So this is one thing. Mr. Pittman, come on up. Is he back there? All right.
I saw him walk by.
All right, so Mr. Pittman, our athletic director, this is his presentation. I'll get it started just to keep it moving. One of the things that has been big for our culture is providing extracurricular opportunities for our students. I'm a product of athletics, is why I'm standing here before you today. And there are a lot of people like me, probably in this room and all around, that probably could say the same. Athletics, it's not just about playing the game, it's about the other pieces that you get from athletics and extracurricular opportunities. We're talking about athletics because he's doing an update, but I mean, we're talking in all extracurriculars, but for this presentation, it's athletics. So Mr. Pittman has his presentation together. When I got here, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say that we barely had a varsity basketball team. Something that happened a year prior, it got canceled. I don't know if we had anything for our middle school students, any opportunities for our middle school kids, very few for our varsity kids, and nothing for our elementary. And so we know, as Dr. Lewis mentioned earlier, it's important that kids, these are the things that make kids connect. They may not always connect with that algebra or math lesson or reading or, the things that we have to do to push them. But when it comes to something that they can find their lane in, whether it's athletics, robotics, whatever with extracurricular things that we're doing, it's important. These are the things that get kids to school. Then it's our job to keep them here and to educate them while they're here. And so we're very proud of a lot of the things that we've done. A few of his updates, I'll read through it. We had 24 student athletes on our football team. The average GPA, more importantly, was a 3.1. So as a former athlete and our athletic director, as a former college athlete as well, we know that you can be a great player and participate in an outstanding athlete. If you don't have a great grade point average, if you don't have a GPA, even if there is a scholarship opportunity available, you're not getting it. That's the first thing that colleges and universities look for. And so we're not just trying to build a kid that can play. We want student athletes. And so student is the first priority. Girls high school volleyball, we have 6 student athletes with an average GPA of, come on up here, Mr. 3.6. And we're very proud of that. Cross country, 4 student athletes with a GPA of 3.4. Again, I say this all the time, athletes are typically that's usually your largest fraternities and sororities in schools, right? Like they a lot of times are your leaders of your building. And sometimes I've been in environments where because I'm this cool athlete, I don't have, I just run around the building and I don't have to do these other things. I don't have to be a leader outside of the sport, off the court or off the grass, off the field. And that's not the expectation here. If you're going to play sports here, it's character first, right? Commitment to character is a priority for us. If you're not representing our organization, our school district, yourself, your family, our staff, well, you won't play. I don't care how good you are. Mr. Pittman knows when he got hired, my directive was, I don't care if we lose every game. We're going to do it with dignity. We'll do it with respect. And we'll do it with character. And that's just what it is. And so, although we want to win, don't be confused. We won't do it at any cost. Come on up, Mr. Pittman. I'm still in your thumping. So I'm gonna bring up Mr. Pittman. Come on up here. He doesn't like to do this, but he's really well, and I want him to celebrate because these are things that he has led. He lives here. He sleeps in the back over here. He probably was just taking a nap, and so he's been here. This is only Mr. Pittman's second year, right? Second year. Yeah. And so I'm just very proud of the work he's done, and I'll let him talk direct.
Okay. Sorry, excuse me, we got a girls game getting ready to start over here, so I'm running back and forth. But just wanted to share out some of the things that we've started since I've been here, but just wanted to tell them, like, it's not just me, it's a team. We're all a family. We all do this from our board, our committee, me and Mr. Rigman, Mr. McFadden. We all sit down and we talk about these things with these sports. So it's very exciting that we started these things right now. But as you see, we're starting baseball this year. We had middle school football that had some success this year. We have the only flag girls middle school team right now that's playing. They're the only one in their league that is all girls. It's a co-ed league, but they're the only girl team, female team in there, and they're competing every Sunday. And that's big for them to get out there and they do a phenomenal job with Coach Kirk. Sorry. Wrestling has started. We had a wrestling meet yesterday against East Point. That's part of our strategy to get back into the MAC. That's one of the things that we want to really look forward to doing. So we're starting these sports, so we have enough to participate in the MAC. Middle school girls volleyball, again, that's another feeder system. So this year we're freshman basketball. So we had 20 freshmen try out for basketball this year, but we also had 20 sophomores try out. So we didn't have enough for JV because we only had 15 jerseys. So we said, hey, we got the participants, let's start freshman basketball now. And they played their first freshman game at 4 o'clock today. So it was pretty exciting. I love it. I keep saying, like, I'm sweating, I'm talking fast, and I'm passionate about what we do. But in middle school girls basketball, again, it's another feeder system for us. Our girls are learning young. A lot of girls tend to stint away from playing sports and athletics when they get into high school. But now we started them introducing it to them when they're young and keep them going. And those are our feeder systems. So I'm happy with the things that we're going on. I'm proud of all our student athletes because they're not only winning on the field and on the court, but they're really kicking butt in the classroom. And they know that they have to keep kicking butt in the classroom. Weekly progress reports have helped us. Study hall has been amazing. So when your kids are starting to hold other kids accountable or they're mad in class that they got the answer right and they got the answer wrong, we're doing something right because they're competing not only in the classroom, on the field or court in the classroom as well. So that's about it as well.
And the other thing that's not up here, I know Mr. Pittman has been working with Mr. McNeely. We're trying to coordinate some opportunities for our elementary kids. I know we talked about soccer, flag football potentially.
Flag football and 3-5 basketball for boys and girls. So That's why another thing that we're trying to put down our elementary. The toughest part is we'll be the only school with 3-5 basketball and for boys and girls, because a lot of them don't start till they get to middle school. But we want to start younger with the development of all our student athletes. So that's what we're doing. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Yeah.
Sorry, I got it.
Again, like I said before, Mr. Pittman's presentation, it's imperative for us to just find, we have kids that are interested in everything, right? And so we are trying to bring everything that we can. The staff in this district know that if there's something that's best for kids and we have kids that have interest, we got to make it happen. I don't care if it's sports, whatever club, whatever it is, the goal is to make it happen because this is their school. Without kids, we don't have jobs, and we, unlike some places, accept whoever walks through our door, right, wherever they are. And so we are constantly taking a pulse from our kids. They have a voice in this district. This is their district. The things that they want to see and do, that's what we do. Oftentimes, as some of you may know, I'm talking to a lot of educators in the room, so I know they get this, but for the community that's watching, a lot of times, in my experience, schools create these things that they think is best, and we miss the mark all the time, right? We're doing things that were cool for us, exciting for us, and we say it all the time, that these kids have changed, but we are still shoving the same thing down their throat. So why not listen to them and make adjustments and make changes and do the things that they are interested in now? It may take some learning on our end, right? But that's what we have to do because this is their school. Student services and support, why? Addresses the whole child and equity and access. So this is important for us. And this is important in our this was an important part of our strategic planning process. And I asked Mrs. McNamara to come on up in a second here to present. As she's coming up, I want to say that we are specializing in being a trauma-informed environment and developing the whole child, right? Mind, body, spirit, academic, whatever you want to call it. But this is who we are as an organization. And I take pride in that because it is what our community needs. Not all places have to worry about developing a whole child, or they may think they don't. That's not a priority, or it may be a need for their family. But if you bring your child to Mount Clemens, our goal is to help them develop and reach their fullest potential wherever they are, whoever they are, whatever they're interested in. And so developing the whole child is important. I'm sorry, talking about special ed. Diversity is important. And when I talk about diversity, I'm not talking about just race, ethnicity, or those things. I'm talking about ability, skill set, interests. We have kids that that are top 100 in the county to need intervention at the lowest level, whatever you want to call it. We have a very diverse community on all fronts. And so it's important that we meet all of their needs. I mentioned differentiation because differentiation just doesn't happen in instruction. And differentiation, and I don't know if you're getting into this, but differentiation isn't accommodations, right? Accommodations are accommodations. So if I have a disability, we accommodate me by building, I'm in a wheelchair, we build a ramp. That's an accommodation. Differentiation is you have a need. I have to make sure that I give you the same opportunity in a way that you can get it, in a way that you can receive it, and be successful at doing it. And that's what we ask our teachers back there. That's why they look so tired, right? Because they have a class that is super diverse when it comes to ability levels. And we're asking them to meet all of their needs where they are. I don't care if they're special needs. I don't care if they are advanced, wherever they are at the same time, right? And that is a tough task, and that's why we appreciate them. And the Tim and massage, whatever, probably didn't really help. But no, in all seriousness, but we have to meet the needs of all of our kids where they are. And so when you come to work here, and they'll all tell you that, that's an expectation. And at the same time, deliver the grade level content. So we still have to expose them to what they're supposed to be exposed to if it's in 3rd grade, 9th grade, and fill all those gaps along the way. So we commend our staff, and we commend everybody that participates and puts forth that effort to meet all kids. And I heard something recently at a conference I was at, and it made me think. And we often say meet kids where they are. And so I'm challenging that theory now in my own brain, and I'll get into that later. But we want to bring kids up, right? Sometimes we meet them where they are and we never leave that space. We stay there. And so we got to be very conscious of that and very intentional when it comes to that. So I'm going to introduce Alyssa McNamara. Most of you in this room know her, obviously. When I first started here, up until, when did you start? August. Our special needs coordinator or we didn't have one. We had someone from the ISD, from the MISD that came out and supported us, and she's been around forever. I've worked with her in other districts before. She knows her stuff, but she was servicing us twice a week is all the time that she gave us. We have some of the highest needs and most at-risk students in our county. Our students that receive specialized services is all close to, maybe a little lower this year, but double the state average. And so to expect our students, all students, to grow academically and not have someone to support our special education teachers, not to be able to support our special education students, make sure IEPs are up to date, current, relevant, and in the best interest of kids, and just have somebody that was here 2 days a week doing the best they could was pretty insane. I don't know what we expected, but it is what it is. We are grateful and happy that we have Ms. McNamara here. Her title is Special Populations Coordinator. It gives her a wide range and the reach, and I'll let her talk to you all about what she has done and the things that are happening since she has touched down.
Thank you for that introduction. Before I get started with my slides and
Somebody must have, sorry.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody in this room and also the people not in this room and people in the community who have supported me transitioning into this role. Special education really is my passion, so I'm very thankful to have the support of everybody as I have kind of come in here. We're changing some things up, so I just really appreciate the opportunity and I'm thankful to get to work with all of you. But now we'll get down to business. So I just wanted to first start off by sharing the numbers that we're looking at right now as far as students that we're servicing. So right now in our ECSE and GSRP programs, we currently have 33 students receiving special education services. At Seminole, we have 85. The middle school, we have 36. The high school, we have 36. And then we also provide services to St. Mary's as well. So 22 of those students are receiving special education services. So that grand total comes out to 212 students as of today. This number changes like every day, to be honest. So we have 212 students receiving those services. Within those 212 students, 155 of those students receive special education programming. So they're either receiving pull-out resource room support, where majority of their day is spent around their general education peers, and they get pulled out for a specific subject area or multiple subject areas where they might need some additional support in. And that also includes our students too that function in more of a self-contained special education classroom for our students that have higher needs. We have 162 students who are receiving speech and language services. We have 61 students who are receiving social work services. So here's just some updates and things that have been happening in my arena. So the first thing I wanted to share is prior to me being here, the district was given 2 corrective action plans from the Department of Education. So those were findings that they found for Mount Clemens that we were out of compliance in. So the first one was issued in February of 2025 for timely IEPs. So our students that have disabilities within the school setting, every 12 months, they have to have their IEP meeting held, update all their present levels of performance and things like that. I'm happy to share that actually yesterday, that corrective action plan was closed out and approved by MDE. So we just got that news yesterday. We have worked very hard this school year on compliance and making sure that we are doing things in a timely manner, and not just for the sake of compliance, but that's also what is best for kids. So we're happy with that. Yay. Thank you. And then our second corrective action plan that was given to us was in May of 2025 for transition planning, which we submitted a progress report in November of 2025. And our final submission for that is coming up in March, and I'm confident that we'll be able to close that out as well, and do what is best for students in that sense too. Another thing we've really been working on this year is the least restrictive environment. That's kind of a buzzword in special education and education in general. Right now, really looking at the student and seeing where we can best serve them while also trying to keep them around their general education peers as much as possible. So something I've really been emphasizing with the staff is the continuum of services that MDE offers, looking at all the different ways that we can service students, whether that is in the classroom or pulling them out. So a few highlights there. At the elementary level, some of our students in our self-contained programs have had opportunities to participate in inclusion time with their general education peers, whether that's specials, lunch, recess, some amounts of academic time. And at the end of the day, that benefits everybody. It benefits our students in special education so they can be around positive peer role models, be exposed to grade level content. And then it also teaches our students in general education some empathy and some leadership as well. So that really benefits all of our students. At the secondary level, we've been utilizing the co-teaching model more this year. So instead of pulling out all of our students that have an IEP and a disability for reading or math, we have a general education teacher and a special education teacher in the same classroom teaching a class mixed with all students. So again, instead of removing them, we're trying to be more inclusive. And then something else we've really been working on is just routines and procedures in general. So with the corrective action plan of timely IEPs, we've really been working on holding those at least 2 weeks before they're due. So that's just a whole shift in culture. And I really appreciate the staff because they've been hustling this first half of the school year, getting things where they need to be. So I really appreciate them and all their hard work they've put in for us. We've also been working on setting our documents to review, so I am able to give feedback on things that our staff are writing, just to make sure that everything is written appropriately and just best practices moving forward as well. I've also had the opportunity to work at both the elementary and secondary level in the child study process. So if we have a student that we have concerns about, whether that's behaviorally, socially, speech, academically, we kind of come together as a team and come up with a game plan for our students. And that doesn't always necessarily mean a special education evaluation right away. We really try to focus on making sure that we exhaust all of our options and just try supports within the general education setting before we move right to an evaluation. So that is what we have been up to. And that's all I got. Thank you.
It's all right. It's okay. It's fine. One of the things that she just ended on, and if you've been to a meeting before, or heard a meeting, or watched a meeting, you know. Am I? Okay. I'm sorry. You know that was one of when I first got here and did my assessment of where we were. This was one of the issues. My findings early on were that I believe, were sometimes identifying students to have disabilities just because of their behavior, and that's not just unique to us. That happens in a lot of places across the United States, unfortunately. And unfortunately, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes when students or kids or people in general get a label of having a disability, unconsciously, we lower expectations. I've seen, not always, but it happens. And so we want to do our due diligence to make sure we are correctly identifying students' needs and making sure that we are really setting them up for success in the future. And part of one of Alyssa's challenges that she has taken on and been doing a great job with is just that, making sure we have to eliminate that, having a child study process in place, which is a team of people come together, people that work with these students, and they talk about different strategies, what may work for you, what doesn't work for you, what success you're having with this student, goes a long way, because oftentimes we'll find out, well, in my classroom, I don't see that side of that student. Those things don't happen, or they put in more effort, but then they'll get in another classroom and not do it. And so maybe there's something else in between there. Maybe it's on a certain day. And so the child study process really helps identify not just what's going on with them, but strategies that other adults and staff members that work with those students may want to utilize and implement in their environments with the kid. So it's really important. And in all actuality, every student, every person, I believe, in our district should have an educational plan, right? It doesn't make you have a disability, but we all need a plan. And I think all of our students need a plan. And that's something that we have discussed especially with our secondary and in our counseling department, of making sure we have an academic plan for all of our students. So, just a little something I want to share with you. It was shared with me at the ISD. We actually I just got an email yesterday. I'm very proud of all of the efforts. I know the elementary, I don't know if I shared this with Ms. McNeely, Tina, yet, and your team, or even our team. I don't know if I sent the email, but I got an email yesterday from the Michigan Department of Education. And they, because of our decrease in chronically absent absenteeism and chronically absent students, they want us to, we've been selected, if we would like to, go and do a presentation to the rest of the state on our efforts and initiatives that we have taken to impact our chronic absenteeism. So I think that deserves a big round of applause for everybody involved. So when we talk about all of these things that we're doing, students can't learn or grow academically if they're not here. And as you can see, this data, I don't have to go through this exact chart, every detail with you, but at the end of the day, we have decreased in the number of chronically absent students. And chronically absent is, I believe, 10%. They've missed 10% of whatever window we're looking at, the school year or the period of time that we're looking at. And as you know, that's a lot of missed time in school, a lot of instructional time lost. And think about it, especially for a student that may already have some deficiencies or some gaps. So you add in another 20 days of school, and I'm already behind. Summer loss and everything, I mean, just compounds, and we need our kids in school. So the elementary and the secondary are doing a lot of positive behavior interventions and supports and celebrations and other bribing techniques to get our kids to want to come to school. And I won't steal Ms. McNeely's thunder, because I know she's going to talk about it, but we're very proud and we were honored to get asked to present on the strategies that we are implementing with the state. It may not seem like a big number, but that's a big jump. When you go from 84% to 62%, am I reading that right? Chronically absent, from 69 to 62, and you see in 21, 22, we're at 71. So we're headed in the right direction. If our kids are here, they can learn. If they're not here, it doesn't happen. District enrollment, we talk about this regularly at our board meetings, and so this is just it together. One thing I'm proud of, and I say this, this is a personal thing, and I'll go on the record and say this. Robbie's gonna kill me. I don't typically do a good job of celebrating, right? I think it's a humility thing, but at the same time, the work is never done, but it's important. It's important for the people out there that are working the butts off every day to make sure our kids are successful and here sick and doing things and going over and beyond. And so I need to do a better job of that. I'm never complacent, and the job is never done. And so one of the things I am very proud of, and it's because of all of the things that you have heard and you'll continue to hear tonight, is that, we are one of the few districts in this county that have increased enrollment for 3 years consecutively. I don't care what district you name. You go look it up. And so no knock on them. Enrollment is declining across the country everywhere. We're probably one of the very few schools anywhere that has increased enrollment 3 years consecutively. So that goes to, so I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of, if you've been here or you read before we got here, the narrative and what it was. Enrollment was declining rapidly over a number of years. And so I don't care if we go up 2 kids, or when I first got here, I was just hopeful that we stop the bleed, right? Let's just pause. And so as you can see, to increase year after year, and it lets us know that we're doing something right. Parents and community are trusting us and coming back. We have kids that are coming back from districts that left us initially. We have kids that are coming for the first time. And it's all the things that you're hearing socially, emotionally, and academically that I think are contributing to that. At the end of the day, the number one marketing strategy is how you treat kids and what you do by those families. And at the end of that will increase our enrollment. We don't have a big marketing budget. We don't spend a whole bunch of money on marketing. We do some things. We are very proud of our billboard on Cass. I must say, I am at least. But it is how we treat people and what we do and how we treat our students and the expectations we have for our students and how we treat our families that is driving our increase in enrollment. So thank you to all of our staff, our customer service teams, which are the people at the front door, from our secretaries to our security. That's the first line of defense. Everybody has value. Everyone contributes to this. Our custodians, their expectations are just like our teachers. They'll tell you. That's why I'm out here cleaning now. Our kids deserve to come to school in a clean and safe environment. I don't care. I grew up poor. Some of you heard this story, but we were clean and I didn't know it. I didn't know we were poor because we were clean. Our kids, I don't care what funding we have or don't have, it still can be clean. And so the expectation for our custodial staff is the same as the expectation for our principals. They all have the equal impact on our students' experiences here. So I'm very proud of that. We should be proud of that as a district. And hopefully I'm very hopeful if we keep doing the right thing, those numbers will continue to increase. Facilities and operations, when I talked about restructuring, one of the things we did to lighten the load on some of our central office staff is I became the operations director, and I've taken that on. Actually, it's been a great experience because I've gotten a lot of insight and things that I don't think the average superintendent will get to experience when you have somebody else doing that. And so it's been able to give me some behind the scenes information and insight that has been very helpful for making decisions for us and sustainable decisions. Operations building assessments were done during our bond work, as you all know, and we were provided with a list of priorities. Considering our contingency plan with the bond not passing, we will begin to work on some of our critical needs. So you all know we went out for a bond and we're still here, like I had said, after the bond didn't pass, and we're growing. And one of the things that we have to do now is, with our resources that we have to begin to start taking care of our infrastructure. Our buildings are old. Our things need to be updated. Our kids deserve the best. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure our resources align with giving them the great experiences. So when we went out when we did the bond work, the preliminary work, like I said, we got a priority list for all those of you that don't know. And so there are some things that have to happen immediately. And they label them like priority 1, 2, and 3. And so we're going to begin to target some of those priority ones. A lot of those have to do with safety throughout our district. So you'll begin to see we'll go through our process of bids and opening up some things for our students, for our campuses, to make sure our students have the best facilities that we can provide them. Preventative maintenance is happening. Routine HVAC, lighting, and restroom checks are ongoing to reduce emergency repairs. And so because of us being small and because of our resources, it's imperative that we're proactive. I talk about this all the time. And so our custodial staff, our maintenance staff, they are constantly assessing. We're constantly asking where we at, how we're doing, because any day a boiler can go down, something major can happen, and it's a different game. We're in a good place right now, thanks to our CFO and the measures she has taken, that we could probably weather a storm in the event something happened catastrophic. And so we're pretty confident with that. However, when you spend money, it goes away. So work order process, everything that we do, just to give you a little background, it's not just you see something has to get fixed. Our facilities director, Ms. Alicia has been very tough on us because we want to track the data, right? Everything that we do, as you know, is to be data driven. So even when it comes to maintenance and facilities, things are data driven. So when there are needs, they have to be put into a system, and then we can track how many times this has gone out, how many times we had to service this, and then we get an understanding and use that, to be intentional with the direction and the things we need to focus on. So it's important, and our staff knows that if you need something done, it has to go into our FMX system, and then we get it serviced or whatever. But we're tracking that data constantly so we can be ahead of the game and proactive when it comes to ensuring that our facilities are up and running, and we don't have to close, and because of a mechanical issue, and our kids can be in school every day. Winter readiness, right? Snow and ice response plans, entry. Maddie, as you came in the door, we're working with Cintas now, and you'll see throughout the building. We didn't really have too many of them, but every rug, we have rugs and mats throughout the building that have the MC logo on them, and they look cool, but it actually is for safety, and it's also to protect the inside of our school, our floors, and within our classrooms. Transportation, you all know that we outsource our transportation, and we work with Divergent. Divergent, so far overall, has been doing a good job. We haven't had many challenges with Divergent. When there have been some, they've been addressed right away. And transportation is always one of those things that's never perfect. But things are going well with them right now, and so our families have an opportunity to sign up if they can receive transportation. They can sign up online. There's a QR code. They scan it. It tells them their stop, and they register for transportation if they're provided transportation. So we're excited about the continued opportunity of getting our kids here. Safety and security. So it's, as you all know, we have to have safety and security is our priority. Not just, we talk about our students a lot, but for all of us, it is the number one priority. So and safety, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. From an operations perspective, we're talking about the physical pieces. So we are in compliance with all of our drills at every building, every year at the beginning of the year. Ms. McNeely and Mr. Ville have to send to the state dates and a calendar of when they're going to have every drill for the year. And sometimes Mother Nature doesn't act right and things happen, but those drills have to happen. So we're in compliance with those things. And one of the other things that we were very intentional with was having emergency operation plans. So we're glad to say that was a goal of ours. We've developed emergency operation plans at both campuses, and we continue to meet to try to update those on an as-needed basis. There are some physical things because of the bond didn't pass at the secondary campus. If for you elementary folks, like, I don't know if you really pay attention, but when you come into the elementary, you got to get buzzed in a couple of times, right? Here, you come in that front door, you're in here. So one of the things we did until we are able to develop our secure and safe vestibule entry, we got a metal detector, not because we had an issue, because we want to be proactive. The biggest thing the metal detector helps with is cell phones, right? So our sixth graders can no longer have cell phones in the building. They have to turn them in the morning. And so that's what we catch the most. Would you say, Mr. Ville? Cell phone. And so that's been going really well. And that addition, and so our sixth graders have to turn their cell phones in every morning. They're in lock boxes, and then they're delivered back to the students at the end of the day. And that I'm really pleased because we went back and forth on how that was going to be received. And out of our whole sixth grade class, we only had 2 parents that called and inquired or had something to say. And so at the end of the day, I think that they see the positive impact. But we'll continue to assess our physical needs. Like I said, there are going to be some big projects hopefully happening soon. We're going to engage with the board, put our plan in place. I mean, we need a track. We need a number of things that have a huge impact on our kids' experience and safety here. So be looking forward to those things coming your way soon. Now for the fun stuff, and she loves to present and talk to audiences and crowds. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Dawes to come up, our CFO, and talk to us about our finance and our resources.
For the finance, I just wanted to talk and do a recap on the audit review that we had for the 24-25 school year. The reflection from the 24-25 audit was an improvement in physical controls documentation and overall financial stewardship, resulting in a clean audit opinion. At that time, in June, we have to present the final audit for 24-25 and also an estimated for this school 25-26. And at that time, we estimated FTE of 789 students, and the foundation rate of 9,608. That FTE reflected a decrease in students, but the result from our fall count was 826 FTE. So that was an increase, and we also received an increase in state aid, $10,050. So with that projection, when we come to the amendment of the budget, we'll be adding roughly $600,000 to the amendment time. We still are unknown on the final allocation for federal funding, and we set aside $2 million for capital improvements, which Mr. Roper had talked about, for the track and other facility improvements. Our next step would be the budget amendment, and we'd like to get the allocation from, or the approval from MDE for the final budget allocations and approval before we turn that amendment to the board. And our focus is to maintain a sound and physically responsible budget. Next is the human resource. With the transition from Mr. Lavender retirement, we combined an HR team of myself, and then we have Miss L, Miss Holiday, and Miss Metter, and we have made some progress in strengthening the processes and procedures. We're trying to keep a consistency and compliance and skill building with our team, and teaching staff overview. We have district employees, 45.8, and the 0.8 comes from a part-time position. Standard interim and certified teachers, out of that 45.8, 39.8 have certifications, and that's an increase from last school year. We have a CTE authorization for HVAC, 1 teacher, and 5 of the 45.8 are full year permits, and they're all pursuing their teaching certification. There's a list of current posted positions on the website, and I've also listed them here. That has decreased from the prior year. And we also have a number of other positions besides the teaching positions for parapros, grant clerks, athletic coaches. And then the next step with human resources is tomorrow we will start our negotiations with the MEA, and we'll start that process talking about the language in the contract, and then ending with the compensation piece, which our goal is to be competitive and responsible with the budget. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Dawes. And so, really quick, another celebration is when I first started here, we had jobs that were posted. We couldn't even get people to apply. So the fact that we didn't have, I would say, I don't have the exact number in front of me, a number of our staff and more importantly, a number of our teachers in front of students were not certified. We had some, but we had a high number of non-certified students, and that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes we got some diamonds in the rough, and they end up becoming teachers, and they do a great job. Sometimes they do an excellent job, and we try to recruit those folks. But we're proud that we have increased almost 9 staff certified teachers. It is important in this environment where we are trying to, it's considered a transformational turnaround situation. The students need the most equipped, right? You need the most skill when you're dealing with students in our community. And so for whatever reason over the years, there's been a struggle to get people to even apply for jobs. So we've been happy to add a lot of these positions. And as you can see, our emphasis is on our students, right? A lot of these positions directly impact our kids. You don't see a lot of fluff, we need things that are going to directly impact our kids. So social workers, teachers, certified. We're happy we had a interview with a certified social worker today, and hopefully if the second round of interviews go well, they may be joining our team, and that'll be for our high school special education, our secondary special education. We've already brought back Miss Monk, as you heard earlier, who was, from what I'm told, a legend in this community as a social worker, and she's here with us at the secondary part-time. So it's just important that I want people to know that our emphasis is on what's directly impacting our kids every day. I don't care if it's teachers, our union, we meet regularly, we have conversations and dialogue regularly, and they know that my focus, which is our focus, is on how can we do what's best for our staff, teachers, and our students. If we can, the ideal is if we can make this a great place where people want to work, it'll be a great experience for our kids. Right? Those things go hand in hand. And so it is important that we get the right people on the bus, but more importantly, in the right seats on the bus. So there's been a lot of movement. Some people say, oh, you have some turnover. If you've heard me talk for 2 seconds, you know my philosophy is I can coach you up or coach you out. It's easier to coach you up. That means you have to have a growth mindset and be willing to be uncomfortable. But for those people that decided to leave us, we wish them well. This isn't for them anymore. And I'm sure there were students that have needs in other places, but the standard of excellence means just that, right? And excellence is being defined by me and by this board and by this community. And so we are no longer accepting anything less, and we're not there yet, and we have a long way to go, but we're very proud of the leaps that we have taken in a short amount of time, and look forward to the rest to keep coming. Now for the most exciting part, we're going to get to our building level presentations, if they're still awake back there. And we'll start with our preschool. Is Miss Lou here? She's back. Oh, I ain't see you back there, Lou. Come on up. So I have Ms. Lou come and talk about our GSRP, new name, something for all. Pre-K for all. New name. Same people, new name, though. That's a state thing. All right, Lou, take it away.
I just want to take a moment and thank everyone who coordinated the wellness massages today over at Seminole. I was able to participate, made a world of difference for the rest of my day. So I just want to take a moment and thank everyone who was involved in making that happen.
It is.
Presentation. Let's click present. Maybe it'll just go there.
That's what she meant. Move it over.
Robin is used to computer having issues. Great Start Readiness Program, that has been our title since it started. We are transitioning from GSRP, which it's an acronym that people don't totally understand what Great Start Readiness Program is. It's a readiness program. We're getting ready for kindergarten. Pre-K for All, it's going to be our new universal title officially next fall. That one is very self-explanatory. Pre-K for All. We offer free preschool for every child in the state of Michigan. That is what the governor has asked, and that is what she has put through to get funding for us. Last year, 46 of our 65 students who attended GSRP last year are now enrolled in Seminole kindergarten program. That is 71% of the population that we had in our program did transfer and did stay within Seminole, within the Mount Clemens School District. We are now going to start tracking that each year so we can see, and our goal obviously is to increase that number each year for us. In 2022-23, that's when I started, we had 72 children in GSRP. 23-24, we had 80 students. Macomb, the ISD, received extra funding from Lansing, and we were able to get our numbers up to 80. That was also the year that we went from 4 days a week to 5 days a week. And we are one of a few school districts that do offer transportation, and that has been a very big draw for our families because we go from their driveway to the driveway of Seminole. They don't have to walk to a corner when therefore it actually comes, unless for some reason the school bus cannot get into your complex and turn around, then you may have to go to the front of the complex to get on the bus. But we do provide door-to-door services. In 24-25, we had 65 students. Currently, this year we are at 52 students. That is just as of this week. We had 2 students start this week. So we continue to take in new students, whether they move into our district for whatever reason they were home. Mom and Dad decided they needed to be in preschool to get ready for kindergarten. So our numbers, the 52, continue to increase. We started in September 2nd with only 24 students in our program. So we continue to increase with that. And we can increase all the way up through June. We can take new students every single day. Myself, my secretary is Terry Friskelli. She is our new secretary, but she was with our program 5 years ago. And when I had a vacancy in our program, I reached out to her, asking her if she would consider coming back, and she did. We have 4 classrooms: Marissa Hilligas, Kelly Ward, Deanna Watson, Kim Sensel, Maddie Watson, Aline Gatson, Ashley Robinson, and Shonda Donaldson. These are all staff members, teachers who have been with GSRP. Kelly is the youngest one. She's been with us for 2 years. Miss Gatson and myself, we've been with the district for 11. Miss Gatson's been with Mount Clemens for 12 years. So the consistency, the continuity of our staff is making a big difference with our families. This is based on the curriculum that we use, which is called Teaching Strategies. It's hard to read, and I apologize, the numbers are small, but what we do is we have social, emotional, physical, and language. We have, and this is just from September to December 1st. Okay, so we have 3 months of information with that. 35%, don't have my glasses, that will be 35% are below expectations. We have 65 as of in 3 months that are meeting expectations. So what we do, we will continue to work with our curriculum. Thank you. We will continue to work with our curriculum to get everyone to be exceeding expectations. And we do a report the 1st of December, March 31st, June 1st. So each time we have a board meeting, when those grading periods are coming through, I will be showing you a new graph. This is something new for our program so that everyone can track what we're doing in order to get these children ready for kindergarten. We also do cognitive, literacy, and mathematics. So we have 6 areas of academic development for our students. In September, they're all learning how to follow directions, how to share, take turns, making friends within the classrooms. Just some of the pictures. We went to, we had Stan the fireman come to Seminole. We do a fire engine train ride, and he also does a presentation to get the children to understand that in case of a fire, you have a fireman coming in with a big equipment, a big uniform. It can be scary because of the helmet. We want them to feel comfortable that if, God forbid, that there is a fire, they know that it's okay to see a fireman coming into the house to make them safe. In October, we went to the apple orchard and we had Halloween parties. You can see this year we dressed up as Dr. Seuss and Cat in the Hat. So that's the apple orchard. They enjoyed. We had competition among the students and the staff as to who could climb the bales of hay the quickest. In November, there are we have the floor mat so that they learn, it's a reinforcement, they're learning their letters, they're learning to write, they're doing yoga exercises. The children are really benefiting from doing the yoga because it helps them to center their energy in order to be able to sit down in a small group or a large group and do their academic studies. This is a pajama day for them. They always enjoy, and tomorrow is another pajama day, so we will be enjoying that with their bright holiday pajamas coming in. And in December, Santa came to visit us just last week. That is a group picture of him. The children enjoy seeing him because not everyone can go to the mall or has access to seeing Santa. Again, we give them exposure that they may have in their family or they may not. And we found out a year ago we did Santa in the evening. Our families weren't all able to come back to school for 5 o'clock and we provided dinner. This year we did it in the classroom during the school day and we had every child was present. We did not have one absent for that. So, and each month we do a field trip, whether it's in the house or whether we're going out. In January, we're going to Imagine Theater. Again, to give our children an exposure to the community, to see what's out there, not just in their school or in their home. So, any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
So why was there a decrease between 23, 24 till now? Like we went from 80 and then down to 65 and now we're at 52. So
Because the year that we had 80 was the year that Macomb, the ISD, opened 100 more GSRP programs.
okay.
So when you open 100 new buildings, and that's not classroom, that is actual buildings with, you know.
But even so, we decreased from last year and nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
So is there marketing that's happening for the GSRP side of it?
Oh, we're getting plenty of marketing. Anybody who calls the ISD, we are the first school listed. The school, I'll give you an example, okay? Chippewa Valley, I don't know what their enrollment numbers are. They have 4 GSRP classrooms for the whole district, okay? Our district has 4 classrooms. Our numbers are a whole lot smaller, but we offer 4 classrooms. So anytime somebody wants to come into a GSRP program, they call the ISD, and the ISD refers them to us. That is why our numbers continue to increase almost on a weekly basis. We had 2 more started this week.
So I think what the piece that's missing, like last year, because I was asking questions too, their numbers will grow by the end of this year, it'll be higher and closer to what
Yes.
they were last year.
Okay.
Those are the end of the year numbers that you saw. So
Okay.
those numbers will grow throughout the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're expecting higher than
yes.
65?
Whatever,
By the end of the
I
year?
don't know, so the thing, that's a hard thing for us to capture because there's so much funding and there are Head Start programs popping up at every corner that you turn because of the state funding that has been given to those programs. The county is inundated with Head Start programs, and so, I'm sorry? GSRP.
Both.
Yeah.
They're
Head Start and
inundated
GSRP,
with both.
but
Both are being funded.
we're confident that it'll grow throughout the year.
And then do we track whether they're in district or out of district for GSRP?
Yes.
Your residents.
Yeah. I don't have that number in front of me right now, but I will have it for the next meeting.
Yeah, that'd be
You know.
great. That'd be good to know, because I know a lot of people end up
Yeah,
asking.
and that's, I mean, this is the first year we're tracking of how many from last year
Yeah.
continued in Seminole.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work on getting the numbers of our current students, how many are in district and how many are out of district. We actually have several that are out of district, and the parents don't mind driving because of the fact that we are 5 days a week, all day.
Yeah.
We offer breakfast, lunch, and an afternoon snack. Not all the GSRPs, some of them are still at only a 4-day-a-week program. And that 5th day is critical, because as soon as they find out that we have 5 days, they don't care how far they have to drive. So they will come. There is no doubt in my mind that our numbers will continue, just because, like I said, we started 2 new this week, and it's the week before the Christmas break.
Right.
So I know that our numbers will be going up.
Okay.
Thank you.
One of the things I want to add before you can go ahead, but that's already, they took it out, that's it.
Okay.
One of the things I want to add to that is, we have the unique opportunity of having that right in our elementary school, right? So we've been intentional with trying to track that. I'm asking Lou, let's find out how many of those kids we retain within our district. Because we potentially, and I've had this conversation with Ms. McNeely, Mrs. McNeely, one of our goals is to ultimately get the collaboration between our kindergarten teachers and our GSRP teachers, so we can get an early jump on some of those gaps potentially, right? So we can help that transition academically. Our kids can be even more prepared coming in, because we know that what the research says about that early childhood experience is the most critical. Where they start and how they come into kindergarten is the most critical predictor of their success in K through 12. So we got that unique opportunity being right in our building, and we're going to work to build on that transition and that relationship. So that's what I say. Thanks, Lou.
Thank you.
So, bring up Mrs. McNeely. She is not feeling the best today, so I appreciate her for persevering and being here. This is Mrs. McNeely's second year at Seminole. Some of you may have known her from being the principal here initially, and part of our shifts and changes to do what's best for our kids in our community was getting Mrs. McNeely down there to Seminole, and I'll let her talk about the things that happen.
Okay. Can you hear me? Good evening, and I want to thank all the staff that are here. Thanks, guys, for supporting Seminole and me. I appreciate you. Okay. One wonderful thing, we've had a lot of wonderful things happening at Seminole this year. We're off to an awesome start. We did work really hard, myself and a team, to this summer to make sure that we had all our staff issues taken care of. We did get 10 new teachers this year. So our whole first grade staff, all 3 of those teachers, Miss Taylor, Miss Bishop, and Miss Brisman, are all new, and they're a really nice, good team working well together. Miss Parmentier, our DK teacher, is also new. We have our 3rd grade team, Miss Diekelboer, Ms. Fuller, Ms. Wood, they're all new as well as Ms. Kowalski and Mrs. Sullivan. And then Ms. Basito in our STEM position. So we started off strong, I feel, with a really good team. It feels different this year at Seminole. Kids are in class, kids are learning, they're enjoying themselves. I think teachers are a really good, cohesive team. They're supporting each other, and I think they're enjoying being there as well. And then this is also our special education and our support staff that's there. I won't read all of them to you. And then the rest of the support staff that we have. So they're all essential and wonderful. Our enrollment, so this is the ECSE enrollment. It's, pretty steady there. 23, there were 41 students. Now that's AM and PM students, so that's actual children. 44 last year and 40 this year. And our enrollment in the K through 5, we're trending up there in second grade, some nice jumps in second grade. Third grade, about the same, trending up in fourth grade as well. And then we're up in fifth grade compared to last year also. Total enrollment overall, it is pretty close. We were with ECSE last year, we were 445. This year we are 449. So we are up 4, which is good news. And then some achievement scores. So NWEA, first is math. Now these are the initials, so these are the scores that we had beginning. So this is our starting point when they first came in September, the first couple weeks. So this is our starting point, so we know where we're starting, and then we are definitely going to be improving from there. We had some really strong second, third, fourth, and fifth grade starts compared to last year. We do know that in first grade, there's a little bit of a dip from kindergarten to first grade. We do know that in first grade, they are transitioning from using an iPad to using the computer. So there is some learning that occurs with them on how to manipulate and take the test. So we're going to work with maybe the kindergarten teachers with having their kindergarten students work a little bit with the computers or the Chromebooks, so they're used to that.
You said that we had 3 new first grade teachers. Did these 3 first grade teachers, were they employed at the time of this proficiency test, the NWEAs?
2 of the 3 were.
Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't fully staffed, or?
It was fully staffed. We did have 3 certified, and then a teacher left, but then we were lucky enough to replace her right away.
Okay.
Okay. And this was also the...
2 certified to 3 certified, right?
No, they were all 3.
Now.
All 3 now. Yep. So that's math, and this is reading. Really strong in second grade and fourth grade as well. Now, again, this is just our starting points, so we know what we have to work on and improve from there. So what I'm most excited about, so we as a team kind of discussed what we really wanted to focus on this school year that could make the greatest impact with our students. So we decided to focus on attendance because when our students are here at school, they're going to learn. If they're not here, then they can't learn. So that's where all our energy was, because we know that's going to get our best bang for our buck. And again, if they're here, they're going to learn. We have implemented a couple things that are pretty exciting here. So last year when I presented, it was, I showed, it was kind of negative, like the number of students who had poor attendance. This year I am super super beyond excited to share that this compared to last year to this year. So the blue is last year. So this is the number of students who had positive attendance. So they had fewer than 10% of their days missing. Okay. The red is this year. So we went from 15% of our kindergartners last year to 71% of our kindergartners have less than 10% missing of the school year. 13% of our first grade students last year, so it's the same time period, 72% now. 25% of our second grade last year to 73% of our second graders are at school. 23% of our third grade last year to 70% this year. 30% of our fourth grade to 79% of our fourth grade students are coming to school, and 13% of the fifth grade to 80% are getting there. And I am just beyond excited. I'm so excited about it. It's that everyone is doing like everything. I think the teachers can see it, the kids can see it, they're excited.
Can I add this?
Yeah.
So this wasn't just, in addition to what Mr. Billy shared, this was also a goal that we set down at the end of the year and reviewed and looked at her data. This was a target area for her personally as the principal because the attendance was really bad last year. And so I just don't want to oversight the intentionality behind what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was very intentional in what that team is doing to target that, because we looked at the data and kids weren't in school for whatever reason, whether it was just absent, suspended, whatever the case may be, they weren't there. And so it was very intentional with what their team is doing.
Okay, so the first thing that we decided to do it's our Bikes for Attendance program that we're doing. So what we are doing is every week when a student has been there every day that week, they get a ticket and we make it a big deal. They get to put it in the bucket at lunchtime. There's all kinds of tickets going in there. So they have 4 opportunities in a month to get a ticket in the drawing. And then at the end of the month, we do a drawing for bikes. We're also throwing in some other cool things. Like this month we had some extra Mount Clemens sweatshirts. So we gave away some sweatshirts for those kids who are also coming to school and getting their tickets in there. So it's so much fun. The kids are so excited to have an opportunity to get a bike. They are telling their parents that they want to come to school because they want to get a bike. So we are giving away at least 2 bikes every month. We have given away 7 so far, and that is thanks to the First United Methodist Church, who has made a donation, Ken Elkins Agency, Zebra Canine, the Communication Workers of America, and a very special silent donor who has given us bikes that we can last through the school year. But we are always willing to take more donations and get more bikes to more kids. So that's just, I think this one picture is like, he's so excited about a sweatshirt, like his feet aren't even on the ground there. So awesome. Another thing that we're doing is a Best Day Ever, which is a food truck coming. So these kids got to get pretzel from the food truck. There's another food truck coming very soon. I don't want to give it away, but it's a surprise day when it happens, and we just say Best Day Ever, and the kids who have had really good attendance get to go out and get a pretzel. So we'll be doing that a couple more times this year as well. We are also doing silent mentoring. So every person in the building has a student that they are silently mentoring. And so what we did is we had a staff meeting where I put the names of all of our students who had last year had some attendance issues that we were concerned about. I posted all their names in the cafeteria during a staff meeting, gave all the staff some stars. And what they did is they put a star in the name of the student that they felt that they had a relationship with. And then I collected those, and the names of students who had very few or no stars, those are the students that we are focusing on, because we believe and we know that if students have someone that they can trust and that they look forward to seeing and looks forward to seeing them, that they have a connection, that they'll come to school. So the staff have been and the kids don't know that they're being mentored, thus the silent part. So they, it's might be an extra hug or just an extra conversation with the student, but just letting the students know that someone in the building does see them and care about them and want them to be there. And then the other thing that we were doing to help with attendance was looking at discipline a different way. So we have, I think this is a really good drop in attendance, discipline from last year. So from 23, there were 58 suspensions to 52 the same time last year to 27 this year.
Great.
So a really good drop. We're being really intentional with making sure that that we're keeping kids in school as much as possible. So some of the things that we're doing about that is we're focusing on intervention. We still have our PBIS roar cart. That's where kids get a ticket with punches for when they're doing something positive. They get rewarded for that, and then they get to go and spend those punches in the library. We added a restorative classroom, kind of put Miss Dickinson in a different kind of a role in a different space, so that she can have a space where she can work with kids that are having issues in the classroom and kind of restore their relationships, help them to see what they could do differently next time, and just kind of build on relationships there instead of sending them home. We're also using conscious discipline, and we are implementing Paper People with the care of Southeastern Michigan as well. So that's a social emotional program that works with our preschool through second grade, students. We are also implementing monthly character traits, which focuses on our student of the month. So for September, we focused on safety, and October was respect, November gratitude, December kindness, and January is responsibility. So we're being very intentional with teaching the students about these traits. We have Miss Patty and Mr. Fringer. They read a story every month, have discussions with the kids, and then it goes back to the classroom where they also focus on the learning that they had and reinforce it there. And then we reinforce it in all other aspects of the school. And then the student of the month, who does the pizza with the principal at the end of the month, are those students who have exemplified whatever trait we're working on that month. So some of our celebrations, I'm going the wrong way. Nope.
Just hit the arrow back on the computer.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So we did have our McLaren physicians come out again this year and do the mobile unit and visit. So you see some of our kids interacting with the doctors there. And those same physicians did donate a whole lot of Lysol wipes, a whole pallet there of wipes to keep us not sick, though doesn't work all the time. We had the Riptarium come and do a visit with the kids. And there was the first annual Trunk or Treat celebration this year. It was so much fun. We had so much fun. Mr. Fringer and I were 6'7", which is the big, it was a blast. We had a lot of fun. Yeah. And this is our giving tree that we have. So this is a couple pictures. There was, we did have a delivery tonight, this afternoon, from the Monzo Realty, and they had to rent a U-Haul to bring all the presents that they're giving to our kids. So a lot more than this. This is just a tiny snapshot. But we did get donations for our students from Kensington, First United Methodist Church, Seminole staff, Monzo Realty, Macomb County Sheriff's Bicycle Unit, Junia Quirio and friends, the Mount Clemens Central Office helped as well. And we did get gifts for 22 families, which included 75 kids. So that is fantastic and headed all up by Mr. Fringer. So thank you, Mr. Fringer, for that. And our last exciting thing is we have our Scripps Howard Book Fair coming back again. The books are already there, and when the kids return from break, every student in the building will get to choose 5 books for free to take home. And then they'll come back again in March. So no cost to anybody. So it's really fantastic that we get to get all those books in the hands of our kids and get them to take them home. And I think that was it. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Our secondary principal, Mr. Bill, come up. One of the things that they're transitioning, I want to just make sure is acknowledged or highlighted. One of the shifts that we have made and been intentional with trying to make district-wide culturally is the mindset behind behavior, right? And misbehavior and all the negative connotations that we hear. And so while our kids have a lot of challenges, you know, we kind of use some of the practices from research in a book that's called Changeable. And then that mindset with behavior, it is in why'd you do that? Why did the student do that? The question is, what happened to them, right? And so it's a positive look at when kids are having challenges or having some challenging times, we're trying to figure out what happened. And the ideal behind it is that a lot of us say this often, or I know I've said it often, that they made some bad choices. Well, the mindset is a little different, and we're trying to shift from, it's not the kids making bad choices, they lack the skills, right? They don't have the ability to communicate when they're in an emotional state of mind, when they're in survival mode, right? And so as we work with conscious discipline throughout the district, it teaches not just us, but it teaches our students the 3 brain states. So we're trying to work to make sure students understand that they can identify when they're in survival mode, emotional state of mind, or the executive state of mind, and then do something, and then build their skills to do something different. And I'm very, I really push the principals to be mindful of when you're doing PBIS, positive behavior intervention supports. A lot of times in my experience, those things turn into dangling the carrot, right? So if you do good and do this, we're gonna give you this treat. Well, as soon as that treat is gone and that teacher's absent, what happens to the behavior? And so they've been doing a good job at being intentional with acknowledging all kids first and foremost, and making sure that that narrative doesn't become the practice unconsciously sometimes. And so I'll turn it over to Mr. Ville, the secondary principal.
Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. All right, so we'll get started talking about middle school enrollment. As you can see, our numbers have increased over the last 3 years from school year 23-24 was at 142 kids for middle school. And now year 25-26, as of today, we're at 170. For high school, the same trend in the same direction. In 23, we had 227 students, and now we're up to 251 up to date. Moving along into NWEA data and some student achievement data. I'd like to highlight the percentage of students that we have on the honor roll. We have 113 total high school students that made honor roll at 46%, and our average GPA for high school is a 2.6. There is a further breakdown of each grade. 9th grade, 31% of our students made the honor roll. 10th grade, 50% of the 10th grade students made the honor roll. And for the 11th grade, 38% of the 11th grade students made it. And then 59% of 12th graders made it. Here's a list of students that made the honor roll. We do have the printer paper in, so the board will be updated soon. The next time you all come, you'll see our honor roll board updated with these celebrities here. Moving on to middle school honor roll. Our 6th graders, 40% of them made the honor roll. 17% of seventh graders, and 49% of the eighth graders. So we've got some work to do, obviously, with the seventh graders. And that totals to 113 middle school students as well at 46%, with an average of a 2.5 GPA. There's a list of middle school names that made the honor roll. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students that have a 4.0 in middle school that made the principal's list. All right, so moving on to NWEA data. This is our math proficiency percentage. The light blue would be fall 24 in comparison to this fall 2025. Sixth grade, we went from 12% to 23%. Seventh, 11 to 24%. And then a small dip with eighth graders from 25% to 22%. Middle school reading proficiency on the NWEA. Sixth grade, last fall, 31%. This fall, 23%. So a small dip there. And you see that same thing repeated in seventh grade. 30% fall 24 to 24% fall 2025. And then eighth grade, almost at the same spot, but a small dip there as well. 44% last year compared to 43% this year for middle school reading. For high school math proficiency, our ninth graders, we see growth there from 40% to 46%. Our 10th graders, we see a dip there, 27 to 18%. 11th grade, 35 to 46%. And 12th grade, we see more growth there as well, from 22% to 36%. High school reading proficiency, we've seen growth in every grade from last year in comparison to this year. Ninth grade, you see the biggest gap, 32 to 55%. 10th grade, 35 to 46%, 11th, 40 to 46%, and 12th grade, 40 to 56% in reading proficiency. So we're doing a good job with our ELA department. Moving on to attendance data. I'm proud to say that the secondary complex also has seen a decrease in chronic absenteeism. This chart, I'll kind of spell it out for you because it's nice and colorful. It's a lot of words here. Over to the left, you can see, so start down at the bottom. It says tier 1. So that's for satisfactory attendance. That's missing less than 5% of the total school days. So last year in Q1, we had 40 students that had satisfactory attendance. This year we have 194 students that have satisfactory attendance. So I'm very proud of that as well. I want to give a shout out to my EWIMS coordinator. Her name is Dariana Goodson. She does an amazing job with following up with families, having one-on-one meetings with those families, and also running attendance contests. And we also have that pretzel food truck. They come out and honor students that have perfect attendance each month as well. And I do plan on stealing Tina's idea about the bikes, but instead it'll be Nikes. We'll do gym shoes instead, because I don't think these kids want little bikes. Moving up to tier 1B, at-risk students. Those are students that are missing 5 to 9% of total school days. So last year we were at 68 students, and now we're down to 47 students. So that's good. Tier 2, moderate chronic absence, 71 students last year, and now we're down to only 10 students. And the biggest celebration is that we don't have anyone in tier 3 right now. Any students missing over 20% of the total school days. We're at 0. We're doing a great job keeping our kids here.
Good job.
Middle school data reflects the same trend. Starting down at tier 1 again, 41 students last year were satisfactory, and now we have 135 students that are satisfactory with attendance. At-risk students, we had 32 last year. This year, 27. Last year, we had 48 students who had moderate chronic absences, and this year, only 8 students. And again, for tier 3, 0 students in middle school.
Great job.
Thank you. All right, moving on to discipline. As Mr. Roper said, we've been kind of changing our mindset with discipline, and this started last year. But we've, we're moving forward in that direction and really trying our best and stretching ourselves on doing alternative things as opposed to just sending kids home. Kids come with challenges, they come with emotional issues, and so we try to meet them there. I believe Dr. Lewis talked about the My Best program where we send referrals for therapy, and we have a therapist that comes in here and he does therapy for our students and services our students. Moving forward, we are looking forward to using some grant funds in order to fund outside therapists to come in, so we'll have even more options for our students like we did last year as well. But I did just want to highlight that because even, when we're not receiving funding, we're still going to be resourceful and do whatever we can with our community partners to try to service our students where they need us. So you can see that impact on the data. In 23-24, we had 79 suspensions. Last year, we had 69. Right now, we're at 28. And so we are aware of that number, and we know that if we stay on pace, we'll be over. Okay, so we are making a conscious effort to pull back on suspensions and use alternative strategies. All right, so a couple of celebrations for me. I'm going last, so everybody kind of stole everything. So I don't have much to say that you didn't hear. But I am happy to say that we did hire 2 certified teachers for social studies this year. They're both in middle school. One of them teaches 1 high school class, and they're doing a phenomenal job. We also have a certified art teacher. The art teacher and the social studies teacher are brand new, right? So this is their first teaching assignment. They came in, they were gung-ho and ready to go, guns blazing. And then they hit the rookie wall a little bit. And I'm happy to say that they were open enough to receive coaching and feedback, and the team in total collaborated. We've had many meetings where us as a family of staff and teachers, circled around them and gave them the support, shared best strategies, and I'm telling you that they turned it around. And that's like one of my biggest points of pride. They both are doing really, really well. We have a certified middle school math teacher as well, and it's also her first year on this level. She taught elementary before, but it's her first year on this level. We have continued the dropout prevention intervention program. That was a big reason why we got to 100% graduation last year, and we are committed to getting that number again by doing the same things and then making some innovations and some improvements with that program as well. We do have tutoring scheduled to begin once we come back. Of course, we're still using the MicRel walkthrough tool. That helps me. It's really quick. I can use it on my phone. You guys know how that works. We showed you all last year, but it gives them quick feedback. It allows me to come in and hit my main points, and it also gives me kind of like a script of what I can follow as far as coaching them and having that conversation on how to improve. And so, over the last 2 years, I would say we've improved our relationships with the teachers. They're comfortable. They know that it's a partnership. We're getting comfortable with the coaching, and we're seeing growth because of it. And then, of course, the conscious discipline training for the staff, like Mr. Roper just highlighted, is very beneficial. I use it myself, when dealing with the emotions of the job on a daily basis, so it's very effective, and our teachers are implementing that as well. And that is all.
Great job.
So before, one little added addition to the presentation. This wasn't in the plan, but she's here, and it just happens to work out. Ms. Granados, we asked Ms. Granados to come up. So when I first got here, one of the, if you don't know, what all the research indicates is one of the number one indicators of school success is parent involvement. And I was looking for parent involvement, organized parent involvement. We didn't really have any parent groups. At that time, it was Ms. McNeely was the principal here. But we got to get a parent organization. Where's the parent, where's the parent leadership or the parent engagement? And so Ms. Granados was one of our parents. And I'll let her just talk about really quickly how she volunteered and was so happy to do this role. Not really. You got recruited, but I'll let her talk about her experience and hear from our Parent Advisory Committee President, Ms. Granados, for the secondary.
I'm not that short. Hi, my name is Ashley Granados Moreno. I have 6 kids in the school district. I have 3 in this building and 3 at Seminole. We did have a pack last year that was started, but really didn't kind of do much. So this year, when the 2 other people left, there was only 3 of us. I decided I would try to do something, and then I wasn't confident until Mr. Roper kind of pushed me and didn't let me say no. I don't care what he tells you guys. And now that I'm here, I just really want to do what I can to help the community and the kids, honestly. The school district, before I've been here in the school district for almost 8 years. We bought a house here 8 years ago, and I'm gonna be 100% honest because that's just how I am. I really was just like, my kids go to the school and that's it. Like, I was not active. I did not want really much to do with it. I didn't really agree with a lot of things that were going on. Ms. McNeely started the group last year, and Mr. Roper and them kind of pushed me into it, and now I see the changes kind of a little bit more internally, and I am like your #1 supporter. I will go tooth and nail for this school. We did the potluck dinner over there. There's still food, by the way, if you guys want it, and a lot of Starbucks coffee. And I went up and down all the businesses for 3 days in the cold, trying to basically give the word, because I think the businesses just didn't really know what's going on in the changes. But I gave them my true word. And my true word is that Mount Clemens, and with the changes Mr. Roper has made, I will say this, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, has been absolutely amazing. Mr. Veal and his way of doing things kind of takes me back to my day, back in the day. I'm 35. Where things in school, with the dress code and the discipline and the ways of learning, honestly, I probably won't pull my kids ever from this school, even if I ever moved. The changes are amazing. They are. I see a lot. And as I was downtown, talking to some of the companies, they also see it. And the ones that didn't, now they do, because I can talk anybody's ear off. So they see it now. I want to personally thank Mr. Roper, Mr. Veal, Miss L over there, who is our #1 PAC supporter, okay, for getting me in this position and helping me move forward. I think you guys are doing amazing things. I think really you guys are. So from a parent who's going to be honest and raw, I see some good things happening. And you guys, I always tell everybody, your kids go to school halfway through the day, so it's their second home. So you have to trust and confide in the school district. Before I never did, now I do. So I always say, to make that unity, you need a community. So, I just wanted to say that. So whatever y'all doing, keep doing it.
So just be listening out when you get the robocalls or you hear the information about the PAC. That's what it is, the Parent Advisory Committee. She didn't have time to get into a lot of the things they're doing. They support our teachers. They support to help support our students from fundraising. She was going around the organization, her team going to businesses, getting donations to help give to our students. And so we just appreciate, like I said, behind every great school district is a great parent support. And so we appreciate you, Ms. Granados, and we'll acknowledge her at a later time for all of her efforts throughout this year. So thank you. Thank you all for your attention. Thank you, staff, for listening to us.
One question.
Go ahead, Mr. Rick.
And this is for our special needs. Do we have any students that are on the spectrum? And if we do, what kind of services are we providing for those students?
Yes, yeah. So we do have many students in the district that have varying eligibilities. We do service students that have autism spectrum disorder as qualified in their IEP, and that looks different for every student. So some of them just are receiving speech support or social work support, and then we have students that are pulled out to receive some instruction, and then we have students that are also in a more self-contained setting that might be more intensive behavioral and communication supports as well. But we try our best to kind of put accommodations in place in general ed as much as possible as well. It's very kid dependent, so it's kind of hard to answer. It looks very different for everybody.
Thank you.
You're talking about like a scenario where we could get a senior with like 3 credits. Would they then come into their, like you said, there's 5 and 6 years? Would they still be here another 2 years, or
They could,
like we don't have 20-year-olds wandering around?
yeah,
Holland.
no, they can age out now. The law of special ed students can be up to what 26.
Wow.
We
Okay.
we don't have that at this time, but that's possible. But yeah.
Okay.
We're good?
Great.
All right. Thank you for all the presentation by the central administrative team and our building level principals and others. Thank you so much. A lot of good information was disseminated here this evening. Moving the agenda forward. Next on the agenda are action items. First action item is item C. Excuse me. Item 6, expulsion hearing, 6A, student number 18100008326. Mr. Superintendent.
Yep. At this time, I requested that we go into closed session to have some further discussion regarding this matter.
You've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of expulsion hearing information?
So, I'll give it that.
I heard Mr. Shepherd first. Mr. Shepherd moved. Second by Mr. Walker. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding the motion on the floor to go into closed session for the purpose of expulsion hearing? Hearing and seeing none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Shepherd,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Mrs. Cahoon, Ms. Hammond,
Yes.
Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Mr. Rickman.
Yes, the motion carries. The meeting is going into closed session at 8:41 p.m. We will come out of the closed session and we will complete the remainder of the agenda. Chair would entertain a motion to come out of a closed session. Moved by McFadden to come out. Second, D. Walker. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding the motion on the floor to come out of closed session? Hearing and seeing none, call the roll, please.
Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Hammond,
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd,
Yes.
Mr. Rickman.
Yes. The meeting is back into regular session at 8:56 p.m.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir, Dr. McFadden.
yes, I move to approve the recommendation of the superintendent for the expulsion of student 18100008326 for 180 days.
Support.
It's moved by Member McFadden to support the recommendation of the superintendent for expulsion of student 18100008326 for 180 days as presented. Second by Member D. Walker. Are there any questions, comments, concerns regarding the motion on the floor? Hearing, seeing none, call the roll, please.
Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Hammond,
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd,
Yes.
Mr. Rickman.
Yes, motion carries. Next item on the agenda, item 7, consent agenda.
Mr. President, I move to approve the consent.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Slow your roll. Item 7, consent agenda. Under the consent agenda this evening, 7A, approval of minutes. A1, December 3rd, 2025, special meeting. Item 7A2, November 19th, 2025, regular meeting. Consent agenda item 7B, approval of bills for payment. B1, November bills for payment. Consent agenda item 7C, schools of choice, second semester. C1, 105, and 105C.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Moved by Dr. McFadden to approve the consent agenda as presented. Second by Member Walker.
Down here at like 7:30.
Any questions, comments, concerns regarding the motion on the floor? Hearing and seeing none, call the roll, please.
Dr. McFadden? Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Ms. Hammond?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the motion carries. Excuse me. Informational items. Agenda item 8, coming out of the Business Committee. 8A, financial reports. Are there any questions, comments, concerns regarding the financial reports? Agenda item 8B, contract listings. Are there any questions, comments, concerns regarding the contract listings? Seeing none, that takes us to agenda item 9, superintendent's comments.
All right, good evening and good night. I would like to say really quickly, thank you to all our everyone who helped contribute to our presentations tonight. Our building leaders, our central office staff did a wonderful job. I'm very proud to lead this team. I'm grateful for this board allowing us the autonomy to lead this district and do the great things that we're doing. So thank you all. Shout out to all of our sports teams, winter teams that are going. Please come out and support them. Visit our social medias on our Instagram or Facebook or our website to get schedules or game information. And happy holidays to everyone. I hope everyone has a safe and prosperous holiday season. Thank you. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Any questions of the superintendent? Seeing none. Item 10, board comments. Ms. Hammond.
Thank you, President. Thank you, Superintendent Roper, for your comments, and I'm going to piggyback off of those. And everyone have a safe and happy holidays.
Thank you, Ms. Hammond. Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank all the central office staff and building administration, as well as Mr. Roper, for their hard work and dedication to the well-being of our students and staff across the district. This presentation tonight shows that we have all the right passengers on the bus to keep the bus moving in the right direction. Happy holidays, and everyone have a great holiday season. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Mr. Shepherd.
Pretty much the same as everyone else. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a happy holidays as well. And those are my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherd. Dr. McFadden.
All right. I want to piggyback off the superintendent and my fellow board members. Thank you for your comments and happy holidays.
Hurry up.
Don't matter how fast I go, he gonna come back. I'm gonna give him. See, that's a record. That's it.
I noticed that we had some pretty good GPAs in the athletic department, but I know someone put out there that our cross country team was all academic conference. So, and they also had some out of four athletes, they won the conference in cross country or charter school league, you may say. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Dr. McFadden. Before I start my comments, I would like to the board to entertain a motion to stay in compliant with policy 0151, establishing the organizational meeting can be no earlier than January 1 and no later than the second Monday in January. So I would like to move that we establish Wednesday, January 7th at 6:30 p.m. for the organizational meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Member Walker, second by Member Shepherd, to establish Wednesday, January 7th at 6:30 p.m. For the date and time in this building, in this room for the organizational meeting. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding the motion on the floor?
I'm unavailable that day, so I would like to recommend, if I can at this time, a new date.
Can you throw a new date out there?
The 14th, the following Wednesday.
That'd be past.
That's past the deadline.
Oh, what was
it
the
has
deadline?
It has to
is the
be about
deadline.
before the 12th. has to be before the second Monday.
12th.
You can offer an amendment to the motion.
Okay. I move to amend the motion that we have the organizational meeting on January 12th. Do you need a time as well?
Yes, ma'am.
6:30.
Amendment has been offered by Member Hammond to have the organizational meeting January 12th at 6:30 in this room.
I'll second. Sorry.
That's a Monday, right?
Yeah.
That is a Monday.
Make sure I can. What my, wait, I'm in the wrong month.
12.
It was okay. It was amendment by Member Hammond. Who seconded that?
I did.
Member Shepherd. Okay. Are there any questions, comments, concerns regarding the amendment? The amendment is to hold the the organizational meeting Monday, January the 12th at 6:30 p.m. in this room.
I support the motion on the floor, but my question is the organization meeting have to be before this second Monday?
It has to be, it can't be any earlier, sooner than January 1st, and it can be no later than the second Monday.
Okay, then my position still stands the same. I support that motion on the floor then. Okay, thanks a lot for clarity, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. Any additional questions, comments, concerns regarding the motion on the floor? Hearing a sin, we have to vote on the amendment first. So what we're voting on now is to change. The original motion was to have it the 7th. The amendment was to have it the 12th. So we need to vote on the motion, the amendment to change it to the 12th. So call the roll.
Okay. Ms. Hammond?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
It's going to be tight, but yes, I'll support it. So the amendment passes. So now the main motion as amended will be to hold the organizational meeting Monday, January the 12th, 6:30 p.m. in this location. That is the new main motion. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding the main motion as amended? Hearing, seeing none, call the roll, please.
Ms. Hammond?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes.
So confused.
Motion carries. Now, I would like to say all the presentations were great, and if we would have asked all the questions that we probably could have asked, we would still be in here asking questions. But we understand and realize that there are some areas that we grew in, and then there's some areas that we fell back. And I'm pretty sure in our work sessions, we will hear more information about that. We've done a lot of great work. We're not where we want to be. We're not where we used to be. And we're still moving forward. And there's still some work to do, and we've got staff that have shown growth in areas that I don't see why we're not going to continue to see that growth in this district. To all the staff, the support staff, the volunteers, the students, everybody who has anything to do with the school district, parents, community, we wish you all a safe and happy holiday season. There are, over the holiday season, there are at least three basketball games here in Mount Clemens. The Battling Bathers will be participating. There's a basketball game tomorrow, the 18th, here in the Clem Gym. There's a basketball game the 20th, that's Saturday, here in the Clem Gym. And then there's a basketball game in the Clem Gym on December the 29th. And I think for all those games, the JV's starting at 5:30, and the varsity is starting at 7. I saw a great crowd as I came up today, and that's good to see. I understand it was a freshman basketball game, and then followed by a girls.
Freshman, JV, and girls.
Yeah, but it was 3.
3 games.
Freshman JV, the JV.
Freshman boys, JV boys, and girls.
Generally, JV stays and plays on the same night as varsity, but okay, all right. So, but it was a good crowd out there in the parking lot. So I hope that we're here supporting our student athletes. Those are my comments. The chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Support.
Moved by Member Walker, second by Member McFadden. It's not debatable. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Ms. Hammond?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd? Mr. Rickman?
Yes, motion carries. Meeting's adjourned at 9:09 in the PM. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your due diligence, support, and all of that stuff.